Hi guys, you're back with Juzzy, and today we're looking at the new package that has arrived from WeBike.com. It is a set of Speedra aftermarket levers, so both the clutch and the brake lever for the Honda Rebel CMX 500. My bike has standard levers at the moment, and one of the things that I have started to not like about the bike since putting on drag bars is the angle that the levers are on. The reason because of that is because I've installed some bar end mirrors also from K-Speed, and I want the sort of mirrors to hang forward as much as they can be. I find that when I've got them forward and the mirror just sort of positioned in a particular way, that it's perfect for my line of sight for my height, which is 170 centimeters. So I want to have these forward as much as possible, but as you can see, when I go to hit the clutch, it's actually fouling this part of the frame of the mirror. So again, I'll just show you there, and it just hits. So what I've been doing is I've been riding with this mirror a bit forward, and then sure, you can pivot this ball joint for the mirror. However, it's just not the way that I'd prefer it to be. And that is the reason why I've bought these 3-piece levers. So Speedra used to be known as SSK, and you might have been familiar more with that sort of brand or name from Japan. Been around for, I would guess, at least 20 years. But they've gone through a rebranding, and so they now call themselves Speedra. So just in case you are looking at purchasing this part, here is the part number. And as always, in the description of this video, go down there and have a look at the direct link to the part that I purchased from WeBike.com. So yeah, there's not much to these, and they are relatively easy install, but you want to get it right because it is your brake and it's your clutch. And so if you don't get it right, then you're going to be in some trouble. So this video will talk you through how to install them correctly and set it up to your liking. Now, the reason why I've bought these levers is because they're 3-piece. So just having a look at it whilst it's in the box here still, you'll see here that this part here is the first part, there is the second part, and there is the third part. What I like about these levers is that you can change the color. You can choose a color from Speedra, and they'll send it to you exactly to your liking. So if you've got a certain color theme on your bike and you want it to look a certain way, then that's obviously a good advantage. Everybody wants to have a good looking bike. These are fully adjustable. So basically, you know, you can adjust exactly where the levers sit out. What I hate about the factory levers is that they're so Gumby looking. So they're so huge. You see many posts about people, particularly because this is a common and popular bike for short people and also for people who are new for riding. And so when they drop their bike, the first thing you always see is that this ball breaks off, whether it be on that side or this side. Good thing about these levers is that you can have them quite short. So, you know, as is the case with most aftermarket levers, they come in varying lengths. But the good thing about this one is that you can make it as long as or short as you like. You can also adjust the up or down angle. So there is a bolt there whereby if you go to install it on the bar and it's not in the right positioning, or it's not in a position for your liking, even though your controls are locked in, you can change the angle of how the levers sit depending on your riding style. So that could be particularly handy yet again for people who have got a drag bar setup. but yeah, certainly is the case for people who have got the stock handlebar set up for their Honda Rebel. So I'll take these levers out of the box now and just show you what comes in the package. So here's what comes in the package. First thing you'll notice is that it comes with instructions. So what I've noticed that when I've been modifying this bike is that nothing has come with instructions. Now, yes, it's a problem that it's in Japanese. I am Australian and can't speak or read a word of Japanese, but you get the general idea when you look at the photos. And if you get something like this that you just can't read, you could just simply download the Google Translate app, hover it over the text, and it basically translates it into your specified language. Now, when you are watching this video, what I do is that when I upload the video, I go and put subtitles on. So hopefully when you're watching this, you should be able to understand this in your own language. So here is the second page of the instructions. So I'll just quickly put it on there. If you go to buy this and you don't seem to have received your instructions, then you'll be able to hopefully make sense of what's here. There is a sheet here that seems to have some listings of spare parts or part numbers, or perhaps optional hop-up parts, I guess you could say. Comes with a little Speedra decal. I probably won't be installing that on the bike because I want it to be all black. And then here are the levers. So the levers are just tie banded in, so there's no complicated way of removing them. All right, so if you have gone and installed some drag bars onto your Rebel, what you might find then, particularly if you've got an aftermarket cowl, headlight cowl, is that as you go to install the bars, these nuts here, which are a size 14, might come slightly loose. And so then what happens is the cables sort of move around and you can lock it into position where you want the cables to sit. As you can see, I've just loosened those nuts there, both 14s, very easy. When you loosen them, then as you can see, you can move them out of the way to a point where you will be able to get the flathead in. All right, so I've probably done somewhere, let's just guess, about 15 turns using a flathead screwdriver to get that bolt out. I started off by just using a 10mm spanner, ring spanner, just to remove this 10mm nut from the bottom. So that's what that feeds into. Now that that bolt has come out, you'll see here that this brake lever simply comes out just like that. So I haven't changed this setting here. It's on setting 3, but in order to put this back in, all I would need to do is just slide that in like so. And if you have a look here, you'll see that there's a little switch for your brake. So what that's doing is whenever you pull your brake lever, that's sending the signal to operate the lights on your bike. So yeah, it's got a little stopper just there. So when I turn it over, that part of the lever is actually hitting that button. So just in case you were wondering, or you just wanting to make sure that everything is definitely going to work. Next part you'll see here is that there is part of the brake master cylinder, I think it's called. So yeah, as you pull back on the brake, it's operating the lever within this cylinder. Yeah, so that your brakes can work. I'm just going to use a little bit and put it around where the points of movement are going to be. And as you can see from factory, they've also put it there. Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So I'm just going to put grease, a tiny amount of grease, just like I can see here from factory on these aftermarket Speedra levers. So that was really easy. And just wanted to note that when I broke this 10mm nut off, it was very easy to undo. So it's not meant to be over tightened. What I've done is I've left it in the number 3 position, which was dead on in the middle. And when I go to push the brake on this lever, it's very much similar in terms of distance to what the OEM handle was. So let me just sit on the bike, come around here, So basically what you can do is if you set this to position 1, you can see that it brings the bar out a lot more. So I would say that position 1 to position 2, yeah, probably position 2 is the equivalent of what the OEM brake lever is. So when you've got it at position 3, yeah, it's much more comfortable. That's what position 4 is, very comfortable. And then going to position 5. So it's super close. So on this side, I'm just going to see, I'm quite comfortable with it being in the standard flat position, but just to demonstrate, I'm just going to show you what it's like when you extend the lever and when you change the incline, just so you've got an idea. Okay guys, so as I was saying at the beginning of the video, these have adjustable width for part 3. So when you buy them, it's in this position here. So basically it's well within the handlebar. But if you've got a larger hand, so as you can see, even my hand without the glove on, it's still a tiny bit tight, but you would usually have at least one hand around the throttle anyway. So if you were wanting to extend that at the fully extended position, it's much like the OEM handlebar. So I might just actually, the actual brakes, I might just actually do that. So, yeah, dead on. It is the exact same width. So if you need that because you've got a massive hand and you're a giant, then this lever set can accommodate your hand. The next thing is that, again, there is a Allen key point here, which has a nut on this side. From factory, it's not actually tight, so you can tighten that up. But yeah, from factory, it's basically meaning that you can adjust the height if you like it up for some reason. I can't imagine why people would like that, but for myself, I don't need it. So what I might actually do is just move these out just ever so slightly a little bit. Or I might just leave it as it is. Yeah, I think I'll bring it out just a little bit because I'm just thinking that with the gloves on, it's just going to be a tiny bit too small. So to do that, I will simply just put that up here so I can get some leverage on this bolt. I'll slide it out just a little bit, tighten it. Then I'll place that down, get a tiny little, I think that might be a 8 or 7 size nut. With the Allen key and just double check that this tightens. It does seem to be sitting flush, so maybe it's not designed to be tightened down, but we'll check. So in undoing the bolt, so I could put a tiny bit of Loctite screw lock on there because I don't want that bolt coming undone when I'm riding. I just noticed the quality of this. So as you can see, whoops, all of the screws actually have little inserts in here just to stop any vibration, and just, yeah, it's a quality product. So we'll put a tiny little dab of screw lock Loctite on there and then tighten it back in. All right, so as you can see, I've put some super screw lock from Loctite on there, just positioning out this third part of the brake lever. I've then found that yes, you can certainly tighten that nut. So now that part won't tilt up. So I'm just going to put this at position 2 for now and just see what it's like to ride with it just a bit closer than factory. So that's where it's at. Really comfortable for my hand width and length with the fingers. So the last thing is I'm going to use that 14mm spanner now that I've been able to tighten down that flathead, just so that I can get these cables down and sitting neatly like so. So now that the brake side is done, I'm now going to have a look at the clutch side. So on the 2022 Rebel 500 that I've picked up in Australia, the pickup point or the friction point for where the clutch actually engages and allows you to change gears is around about halfway. So this is the full motion point. So when I've got the clutch at around about this point, that's when, if I'm in first gear, the bike will start moving forward. So about halfway, and as you can see, there's full. So around about halfway is how it's been designed, and I don't mind that. I like it at halfway. Some people like it so that they only have to just push it a tiny bit. Some people like it that it's all the way down. I think that having it halfway is sensible for me. So essentially, in order to remove this, it's very similar to the brake side. You need to have a flat head on top and a 10mm on the bottom. The difference though is that you won't then be able to pull that out because you've got this clutch lever here. So the way to enable you to release the cable from this handle is you actually have to screw this all the way to where that is. You undo this flathead and this 10mm bolt on the bottom, and then you can start unwinding this from the assembly. Now on the bottom, I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but let me just try and pop the light on. There is at the end of a cable, there is a chock. It's kind of like a puller. And what that does is when you operate the cable, the handle holds the puller in place, pulls the clutch cable, and that goes to here on the right side. So down where your brake is, you can see right here, as I'm pulling this cable in, it is the clutch cable which is enabling the clutch to release and engage. So what I'm going to do now is just simply undo this and pull this handle out, and then I'll show you where that stopper is on the underside. So I've just removed the bolt and 10mm nut. Here's what it looks like. It's got a tiny amount of lithium grease on it. Now that that's been done, I have wound this adjusting point to here, and now I can actually start winding this part in until I get to this part. So as you can see, it's all moving in one. There's one whole turn, 2, 3, 4, and about 4 1/4. So now that that has been wound in, this part is very easy to wind out, and the stopper / puller that I was talking about is here. So now that I've brought the cable in this way, that enables me to manipulate this cable. If you don't actually screw this point in the 4 1/4 turns, you won't have enough cable. We will have enough cable to pull it out, but you won't be able to then do this to lift it up to bring that stopper out. And you need this much play to be able to put the new lever on. All right, so I've just put a little bit of lithium grease on both sides there, and just a tiny bit extra on the bolt. Then I got a pair of just normal pliers, and I used that to hang on to the stopper and pull that into position. It took me 2 goes to get it right, but it's in there now. So now that I've got that in, I can simply just place that back, and let me just focus that a bit better for you. So now I can put that into position there. So it's just the reverse now. I simply just put the bolt and nut on, and then I'll start putting this back to 4 1/4 turns and testing the friction point. So now I've got that bolt tightened down, and we've got the 10mm nut on the bottom. Fantastic. The I don't know if it's actually easy to see from here. It's actually not. It's actually impossible to see because it's covered. But yeah, the clutch puller is there as well. So now we're going to do the exact opposite. So we're not touching anything to do with the levers just yet. We'll do that at the end. So we're now wanting to bring this back to 4 1/4 turns, so it's sort of in a position of where it was when we started. So I'm going this way. So there's the 1/4 turn. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going to turn that just so it's facing down. So now that I've got that, I'm now just winding this one back to here. So that's now pressed up against this location. So we're just having a look at the feel. So yep, it's much the same as, it is the same as the factory lever. So we're in position 3. So there's position 1, as close as it can go. So there's the standard position. It's just a little bit too far for my hand, so I think I'll like the brake one. Yeah, just like that, I'll have it on position 2. But just in case you're wondering, 6 positions on this one, and that's way out for my hand. But yep, I'm just going to leave that at position 2. So I'm going to do the exact same thing as I did on the other side. I'm going to step out this extended lever, and then I'm going to tighten this nut so that it's all in position. Again, I'll be taking out this bolt and putting just a tiny dab of the Loctite, the screw version, into here. And then I'll be testing to see what the pickup point is like. So that is literally the tiny little dot amount of Loctite that you put on. So I've just started the bike up and tested the friction point of the clutch. And because, if you just remember a moment ago, I just wanted to turn this lever, this one here, to be down in position. It from factory was sort of about here. And because I've moved that to go down, what happened was the pickup point for the clutch, so I'm going to put it back to standard. The pickup point for the clutch actually became closer. So basically it's as about there when I started letting go of the clutch, it started engaging rather than probably about there. So yeah, you basically just need to make sure that you've got this tightener in position and that you adjust this to your liking. You'll need to ride it around the block, make sure it's all right, but it's okay just to test in just a flat little area here first, just to pick up the that the position is fine. So that actually completes the install. So here's what it looks like. Hopefully with all the glare outside, it's not too hard to pick up a black bike. I'm pressing on the handlebars on the screen now. So yeah, really neat. I'm really liking it. As you can see, it's within the boundary of the handlebar, and same on this side. Here's all the angles for you guys if you're just really keen to pick up an aftermarket set of levers, or in particular if you're after this one. Here's what it looks like, and the brake. Really nice feel to it. Quite cold to the touch actually in comparison to the factory levers. I'm not sure why that is, but anyway, again, I've Loctited the extenders in, and I've tightened the nuts on both sides here. So yeah, for me, I ended up having it at position 2 for the clutch and position 2 for the brake. So I guess this completes this video install for today. If you've got any questions, like always, please like, comment, and please don't forget to subscribe to this channel. I've just reached 900, so my goal is to try and reach 1000 for content on my Honda Rebel 500 Special Edition and my Lancer Evo 10. And yeah, so I guess the last thing I can say now is that given that I've put the lever in, if you remember at the beginning of this video, I said that I wanted to tilt this mirror forward, and as you can see, I can have it as far forward as I like. It's not going to hit. So that was my main objective. So I'll be able to line that up the same as that other side and be done with it. Hope you've enjoyed that video, guys, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.